We have officially closed the book on the 2024 fall sports season here in the Tri-City area, and it ended last week with a flurry of postseason action. One of those games you heard right here on the News 1490 AM, 103.5 FM. That was the Elite Eight of the state football playoffs as we had a rematch of the 2022 Elite Eight between Prescott and Snowflake at Snowflake, of course, where the temperature dropped to about 28 degrees by the fourth quarter. Yay. The Badgers, they actually did start off well in that game. They got the first score of the night. They were leading 13-7 in the first quarter. Unfortunately, penalties and some other mistakes really started to add up, kind of bit them in the you-know-where, and then the Lobos sophomore quarterback, Jacob Leduc, he had a really good night with 4 touchdown runs, resulting in a 49-13 win for Snowflake, who actually got pummeled last night by Arizona College Prep, 59-21, the final score in that one. So the Knights, I mean the Knights. This is what happens when you've seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail about 35 times in your life. Anyway, the Knights will be facing Micah Mountain for the state championship next Saturday at the former Sun Devil Stadium. What are they calling it now? Mountain America? I don't know. I'm just going to call it Sun Devil Stadium. Anyway, the Thunderbolts, by the way, they actually defeated number 1 Yuma Catholic 24-14 tonight to get to the state championship game. And getting back to last week's Prescott Snowflake game and talking about all the penalties in that game, that was probably the shortest amount of time it took me to absolutely flip out during a broadcast. Because I think we were about 2 or 3 minutes into the game, and Josiah Peoples made this really spectacular catch along the sidelines. It was around the Snowflake 30-yard line. So Joe Flya gets up, understandably excited about that catch, and he points to the end zone. And what happens? Well, apparently, one of the officials took great offense to that pointing, and he threw a flag for excessive celebration. And heck yeah, I went off because that was absolutely ridiculous. Like, you're going to call a foul because someone points to the end zone and do it in a playoff game? You kidding me? Is pointing just so egregious and so offensive? And people wonder why I think these excessive celebration penalties are bogus. In fact, I actually ran into Josiah Peoples a few days ago at Prescott boys basketball practice, and I went up to him like, "Hey, Joe." And then I pointed, and I go, "This is excessive celebration now?" And he just turns to me and says, "I guess so." Now, in the name of Neil Peart's drum kit, just let kids have fun out there, will ya? Is pointing so disruptive? Is it going to change the course of a game? No. So you know what? Chill out. And I know there are going to be people out there who have the old school mentality of, oh, act like you've been there. There's no reason to act like that. And well, I respectfully disagree with you. Now, notice I just said I disagree with you. I did not insult any of the people who think that way, unlike the new breed of baseball fan who, if you criticize the way MLB is today, they tell you to shut up, or you're an old man shouting at the clouds, or if you don't like it, don't watch it. Well, then again, I'm not an arrogant plonker who's in love with the smell of their own flatulence. But I have said on numerous occasions that sports is entertainment. When I go see a game, I want to be entertained, and that includes watching players celebrate and show enthusiasm and show passion and just having fun. I don't want it. I don't want it to be like that one scene from Remember the Titans. You think football is fun? No, sir. Zero fun, sir. Okay. This is what I equate this with. I go to a concert. Let's say I'm going to see Sabaton, the Swedish military history metal band. Now, they can all go out on the stage for 2 hours, just stand there and play and sing. And yeah, it would be cool because Sabaton has a bunch of really, really, really great songs. But they don't just stand there and play and sing. Joachim Broden, their lead singer, he runs out on stage. He gets into power stances. He does little flips with the mic, and he leads the crowd in an aerobics session when doing Primo Victoria, which I've been a part of like about 3 or 4 times when I went to see them in concert. Or he puts on a gas mask when he does Attack of the Dead Men. Or, this is a really cool one at the Woodstock Festival in Poland years ago. They unfurled this huge Polish flag over the crowd when they did 40-1, their song about the Battle of Wisna in the early days of World War II. Or, just putting a tank on the stage and having their drummer, Hannes Van Dahl, set up his kit on the turret. Hannes Van Dahl, oh, by the way, I call the luckiest man in the world. Why? Because he's actually married to Nightwish lead singer Floor Jansen. Way to go, man. But, the thing is, they don't do all that to distract from their music because it sucks. Their music doesn't suck. It's actually really, really awesome. But what it does is it enhances the performance. It gets everyone amped up. And that's how I view touchdown dances and bat flips and other celebrations you see in sports. It enhances the overall game experience. Now, does that mean I think players should break out into some long Lord of the Dance routine? No. There does have to be a line. And I would say, if your celebration goes on for more than 10 seconds, then you're going to get a flag. I think that's a reasonable compromise. Anyway, we had other postseason action last week. The Embry-Riddle women's soccer team, GSAC champs in their first season in that new conference. Unfortunately, they couldn't get out of the first round of the NAIA National Tournament. They lost a heartbreaker to their former CalPAC rival UC Merced, 1-0. Embry-Riddle women's cross-country team, they finished 15th at the national meet, while the men finished 9th. And how about Demetrius Love Jr., national runner-up in cross-country? Outstanding work, man. Then there was the Prescott flag football team, who last Saturday took on St. Mary's in the 4A Conference State Championship game, which we broadcast right here on KYCA. But I'm going to talk about that on the other side of the break, because in the studio with me, I have the coach of the Lady Badgers, Ryan Hart, and I also have three of his players coming into the studio with us today. I've got Rihanna Aguilar, I've got Adeline Brandon, I've got Alana Gilray. So we're going to be talking about their incredible inaugural season as we start our slate of Saturday morning local talk shows. Tri-City Sports Roundup right now. Got Healthline with Dr. Hancock coming up at 9, Drive Time AZ at 10, and Eye on Prescott at 11. Also, we've got the Territorial Cup today right here on KYCA. Coming up for you at 12:30 p.m. ASU and the U of A on the gridiron. So we got a lot of great stuff for you on KYCA today. 928-541-1016, the number to call here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup, as we're going to have some fun and we're going to celebrate. And I might do my own little celebration dance. So, hey, maybe if there's a referee watching, maybe you can flag me or something like that. I don't care right now. Anyway, folks, break time here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. We'll be back right after this. Hey, folks, welcome back to the Tri-City Sports Roundup. John Rust with you here on this Saturday morning as we are talking about certainly one of the more successful teams we had here in the Tri-City area for the fall sports season. That is the Prescott flag football team in their first year playing this sport. Prescott actually undefeated right up until the state championship game. Just an incredible way to start off this great team here. And in the studio with me, I have their head coach, Ryan Hart. I also have three of the players from the Lady Badgers. I've got Rihanna Aguilar, I've got Alana Gilray, and Adeline Brandon. Ladies, Coach, thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so Coach, now we actually had you here a few months ago, and normally I just keep it like, each team does one appearance during the season, but ever going to the state championship game, I'm like, I got to have Prescott flag football back on the show again. And back during that time, it was August. You hadn't even played a game yet. So there were just a lot of question marks and a lot of mystery of, well, how's this team going to do? Like most of your girls have never even had flag football experience before. Most of them are like coming from the soccer team. And, well, here we are on the eve of December, and we know how Prescott flag football did. State runner-up in your first year. Did you in your wildest dreams imagine that you would actually be playing the very last possible game of the season for flag football?
Wow, it still doesn't seem like it's reality, and I didn't expect that at all. But we had a lot of unanswered questions, just like you said, and but we answered them one at a time, like how we're going to come together, who's going to play what positions, what's the defense going to look like, what's the offense going to look like, how are we going to size up our opponents, how do we compare? And we just had a lot of speed and a lot of tenacity, and these girls showed grit and heart in every single game, and they were just up to the task. So that was a pleasant surprise and an incredible ride so far.
Now, Rihanna, I think this is your very first experience with flag football, correct?
Yes, correct.
And not only was it your first experience, but your first experience was as quarterback of this new team. What kind of pressure did you feel knowing that you had a very important position here that you've never played before in a sport you've never played before?
It was definitely nerve-wracking, but I did expect the pressure at the beginning of the season. I was ready for it, and like you said, we were all ready to put in the work and ready to fight for it.
Alana, I think you're another one. You had zero experience with flag football until this year. So what made you decide that I want to go out there and I want to give this a try and just see what happens?
I think a lot of it is me being a senior, and I said, well, why not? It's the first year. It's the only chance I'll ever get to do it. And then I took that chance, and then we became state runner-up. So I'm glad I took that chance.
Now, Adeline, out of all these girls here, I believe you said you actually had some flag football experience, and that was back when you were in 6th grade. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I just had a little. I played a season of YMCA flag football on an all-boys team. It was a little rough for me, but that's okay. And I think I was just more excited this year just to get to play a fall sport. I just went into it. I was like, oh, this will be fun. First year, making history. Who knew we were going to be state runner-up?
Now, Rihanna, one of the things that I think probably took a lot of getting used to was the fact that you really couldn't do much in the way of physical contact there because, of course, it's called flag football for a reason. I mean, unlike soccer, soccer is technically a non-contact sport. Yeah, right. So anyway, what was it like for you realizing that, you really can't kind of bump and push girls like you do on the soccer field? You really had to, I guess, kind of take a step back and just grab at their flags.
It honestly was more of a contact sport than I thought it was going to be. At the beginning of the season, we were expecting to be no contact at all, but once we started playing, it was definitely rough. It wasn't anything like soccer, but it was rough.
Yeah, so Alana, just talk about what it was like for you kind of getting used to how things work on the soccer field and how things work on the flag football field.
Yeah, so it was definitely an adjustment. They're two completely different sports, so I had to relearn a lot of new rules that are very strict to follow with the refs and everything. But as the season went on, we all learned from our mistakes. The refs were amazing in the sense of teaching us what we did wrong when we did them wrong. And so then it just helped our understanding of the rules.
And Adeline, obviously in sports like this, I think the natural inclination is maybe to grab at a player's body or something like that, or give him a little shove. But here it's no, I got to grab the flag around their waist. So talk about what it was like for you to kind of get you in that mindset of reach out for the flag, not the body.
I definitely think it was a hard adjustment for me because I kind of lead with my body when I play sports, like basketball court. I'm like setting screens like hard, and so I had a lot of fouls this year. I'm used to just like running at girls kind of, so I definitely not got fouls for knocking a few girls over, but it's just different because they don't want you to really touch them at all. Like I ran into it with blocking.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I go to block for Rihanna, it's like if I have like my elbows out or I'm like not set enough, they'll call a flag on me because it's like too much contact. But then other times I like accidentally fully run over girls and they don't call it. So I'm not really sure, but it's definitely a hard adjustment.
And again, Coach, you had an undefeated regular season, took home the Mountain Sky Region Championship. Got to train myself to say Mountain Sky, too. With Prescott, Bradshaw Mountain, I'm always used to saying Grand Canyon region. But, at what point in the season did you realize that we've got something special here, and this could be not just our inaugural season, but just a really, really memorable season?
I think it was after that Higley game where we took on a powerhouse, really, in that team, in a 6A school with experience, and we were able to score on them. We were able to stop them on defense, and it was like, oh, we can play. We can step on the stage. I mean, defeating Boulder Creek out of the gate with a shutout win at home was cool too, but it was like we didn't see enough yet, right? So after that Higley game, it felt really, really good that we could roll against anybody, and that's kind of the mentality that we took through the rest of the season.
And I think another thing, and I know I've heard you say it in the huddle, and I think on some Facebook posts, where it's not just you. I mean, yeah, you're the head coach.
100%.
You're the guy who gets all the spotlight.
Right.
Good and bad. But I mean, it looks like you also put together a really, really good coaching staff that helped you and these girls tremendously.
Yeah, 100%. I cannot thank my staff enough. All the assistants that have come out to be part of this first historic season is incredible. We got a great defense coordinator in Lamont Dupree. We got Valerie Jeffries, offensive assistant, and she helps a lot of logistics stuff. And we call her our girl whisperer because she's able to get a psychological advantage with communication and getting things across to these ladies with that I wouldn't otherwise know how to do. So that's pretty cool. And Coach Rebecca Wood also helping us on the defensive side of the ball and making sure everybody's got their grades all straight and things are organized. So it's amazing. It does come down to me. I don't think I put us in a great position to win that championship game. But I'm so thankful that we were there and that we have a team that we do, top to bottom, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and experienced coaches and some new coaches too. So it's been great.
Yeah. And I think one of the other things that probably helped with your success is, I know going down the roster, I will be like, oh, I know her from soccer. I know her from soccer.
Yep.
I know her from soccer. 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 Like, how much did it help to have like so many of the players from the girls' soccer team who've been very, very successful over the last several years come out and be part of the flag football team in its first season?
Yeah, that's a huge part of what we've done has been from the soccer girls coming out and giving this a shot. Shout out to Maggie of making her presence known this entire season on the defensive side of the ball, to say the least. And also just the leadership and the athleticism that you see from the soccer girls. They came out and they kind of made their mark and made a statement of that we're gonna be a solid team and that we can compete with anybody. And we never look back from that. So they've made a tremendous, immeasurable contribution to set the standard and make their mark on this team.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, that happened in your very first playoff game against Lee Williams. Maybe not the highest scoring game ever, but still you got more points than the Volunteers did, a 19-7 win. Just tell us what your feeling was when you got to your first playoff game, got your first postseason win.
I think we all had some nerves coming into that game, and we gave up one touchdown late. Other than that, it was really, really well done fundamental game, and we were able to move the ball. That's when we started to run the ball a little more consistently in that playoff run. So it was a good time for us to test ourselves, and from then on, we felt like we were going to go all the way to the state championship, which we did, and fell just a little bit short.
Okay. Well, folks, in the studio with me today, I have Coach Ryan Hart of the Prescott Flag football team. I've also got three of his players here. We've got Rihanna Aguilar, I've got Alana Gilleray, and Adeline Brandon. So we're going to be talking more with them on the other side of the break, especially about that incredible, thrilling Final Four state playoff game between them and Coconino, which, yes, I already have that on my candidate list for top 10 local games of the year. So we'll be talking about that and some other things with the Prescott Flag football team, the state runner-up Prescott Flag football team on the other side of the break. But before we go to break, as always, it's time to see who shined over the past 7 days as we present the Tri-City Sports Roundup 3 Stars of the Week. Starting with the ladies, our number 3 star is Bella Apt of the Prescott basketball team. She garnered 22 points in the Lady Badgers' 67-51 triumph over Ironwood Monday. The number 2 star is Maggie Manili of the Prescott Flag football team. She had 3 interceptions, count them, 3 interceptions, in the Lady Badgers' 10-7 loss to St. Mary's in the state championship game last Saturday. And our number 1 star of the week is Addie Prisciandero of the Prescott basketball team. She netted 20 points in the Lady Badgers' 67-51 victory over Ironwood Monday. Then on Tuesday, Addie Cadabra reached the 1,000-point plateau for her career. Now for the guys, our number 3 star is Brody Hanna of the Prescott football team. He recorded 21 tackles in the Badgers' 49-13 loss to Snowflake in the Elite Eight of State last Friday. The number 2 star of the week is Nadir Myers of the Yavapai College men's basketball team. He notched 29 points in the Rough Riders' 85-81 loss to Eastern Arizona last Friday. And our number 1 star of the week is Demetrius Love Jr. of the Embry-Riddle cross country team. He was the national runner-up at last Friday's NAIA national meet. So congratulations to all our 3 stars of the week. Break time here on the Roundup. We'll be back with more right after this. We are back on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. John Rust with you here in the studio with me. I have head coach Ryan Hart of the state runner-up Prescott flag football team. Also, three of his players, Rihanna Aguilar, Alana Gilray, and Adeline Brandon. And, well, of course, last Saturday was the state championship game between Prescott and St. Mary's. But before then, boy, oh boy, what an absolutely thrilling Final Four game that Prescott had against Coconino, a team they beat by, I think, only 3 points during the regular season. And, Coach, I imagine after that regular season contest with Coconino, knowing you had them for the Final Four, I guess you knew you were going to be in for a fight to try to get to that championship game.
Yeah, from the very first time we took on Coconino and won at the end with a field goal, we knew they were going to be a force to be reckoned with in our Mountain Sky alignment, as well as the state tournament. And they said when they left the field that night, I think in early October or whatever it was, that they were going to see us in the tournament. And I believed them. And they came back and they wanted a big piece of Prescott, but we were able to hold them off. It was closer than it needed to be. I'd love to hear all the girls' thoughts on that game, because it was probably one of the best things I've ever been a part of, to come out victorious that night after things swung against us. It was just a testament to the character and the want to and stick-to-itiveness that we have.
So, Rihanna, I'm sure you and all the other players knew you were going to be in for a fight against the Panthers. And by the fourth quarter, you ladies were up 21-7 over them. So what were your thoughts when you had that big lead over them and only 10 minutes left to go in the game?
It definitely felt good, but you never really know until the last whistle blows. So we knew that. Everyone wasn't expecting them to score all those points, but we all pushed through it. We knew what was going to happen, and we fought.
Yeah. So, Alana, when it was under 10 minutes left to go, you ladies had a really good lead, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, there are 2 touchdowns by Coconino. All of a sudden, it's tied 21-21. What were your thoughts? What was kind of the mood of the players after that happened?
Yeah, so it was hard because we wanted to go to the championship game so bad. We wanted to fight for it. And I think the refs were not really on our side that game. They had some interesting calls that they had made, and I think that was firing us all up, and I think that's what drove us, because we knew that nobody, Coconino didn't want us to win. It seemed like the refs didn't want us to win, but we wanted to win so bad for us, and then I think that's what had us get the drive to want to win the game.
So, Adeline, there you are, 30 seconds left to go. It's tied 21-21. I was up in the booth with a bunch of people, and I was going, what are the rules for overtime in flag football? I think we're going to have to figure this out. And then all of a sudden, there's a pass by Coco. Ball pops up in the air right into Delaney Courtney's hands, and she just takes off in the end zone. What were your thoughts when you saw Delaney get that INT and then just sprint to the end zone?
Well, I was standing right next to her on the field, and I remember there's a photo of me, and the ball's just been thrown, and I see that it's going in Delaney's hands. She hasn't even caught it. I'm already in the air jumping, and she catches that ball, and all I can think is, Delaney, run. And I remember she got into the touchdown zone, and I turned around into the Badger audience, and the standing ovation was insane. I think that was one of the coolest sports things I've ever been a part of, because the support, that it was just electric. It was amazing. Yeah.
And again, Rihanna, stuff like this, you would probably see in a Disney movie. I mean, back when Disney actually made good movies and not the garbage they do now. Anyway, but like I said, it was just an incredible scene. What was going through your mind when you saw Delaney take that 82-yard pick six into the end zone?
I wish there was a picture of it, but I was on the sideline and I saw her catch it, and then I saw the quarterback dive for her and try to catch her flag. And before she was even in the end zone, I was running across the field to give her a hug. And I don't even know if I was supposed to be on the field, but I was running across the field because luckily I had to hold the snap for the kick. But
I saw that you had just gone onto the field right after she crossed the goal line. You were sprinting towards the end zone. I have to say that was one of the most incredible athletic plays I've ever seen anyone make in any sport, because Delaney was able to react so quickly and anticipate what was going to happen on that play. They did a little fake pitch, and then they were going to kind of toss it over the top on a swing pass. And she was able to change direction so quickly and make a play on that ball and get a hand on it and give herself a chance. And, she made an amazing play.
Yeah. And Alana, have you ever been part of a game that ended in such a thrilling fashion with so much at stake?
No, absolutely not. I think that was what made it so amazing, was the fact that it was all or nothing right then and there. Like, she put her heart out into that run, and she was exhausted at the end of it, but she got the credit she deserves because that was amazing. And, like, I think it's just crazy watching it back because she just blocked it at first. She didn't even catch it, and then just caught it and then ran.
Okay. Oh, before we get back to the players and coach here, we actually have a caller here on the line. We've got Stan on line 1, so let's get him in here. Stan, good morning. How you doing? Thanks for calling the Roundup.
You bet. Doing great. It's great listening to Coach Hart and the girls. We're just so proud of them. That's why I wanted to call in.
Good. So what were some of the things you really enjoyed about this season of flag football with these girls and Coach Hart?
Well, from the minute that even Coach Hart presented it to the district, there immediately became a buzz about this inaugural season. And not only was the buzz just that it was the first year, but holy cow, the delivery of every game, the heart that went into these girls, the tremendous coaching, the inspiration that all the girls received from Coach Hart and his staff. I mean, it's just a great place to be. And when we say we're Badgers, I mean, they have truly exemplified what it truly is to be a Badger.
Mm-hmm. So, Stan, I'm going to ask you this because I've said this to a few people. I said, if someone went back in time and talked to me in August and said, hey, John, in late November, this brand new Prescott flag football team is going to be undefeated going into the state championship game, I probably would have said, I don't know about that. I think they'll do good, but I don't know if they're going to get the state championship game in their first year. Of course, right. I was proven wrong. Well, was that going through your mind too? Did you even imagine that this brand new team would be competing for a state championship in its first year?
No, not at all. You think, some of the players, and I know Ryan from starting the Gridiron Flag Football League and his family, and they're just tremendous people. And you just hope that it's going to happen. But they had all the tools, right? And as they started winning games, like they said, it became like the talk was real. And then you saw the crowd swell in these games, and truly, when Delaney got that interception, my gosh, everybody across town was showing the video, and even people that don't even live here, they're like, look at this play, and then to be able to watch them on the Sports Network and listen to your broadcasts. I mean, we followed them, and that's what we do here. The crowds, even if their kids aren't on the team, they show up, and we just like to see good things happen to great people.
Mm-hmm. Good things definitely did happen. Hey, Stan, I want to thank you very much for joining us here on Tri-City Sports Roundup this morning and just heaping more deserved praise on this Prescott flag football team here. And thanks for joining us today. Have a good day.
You too. Great.
All right. And, well, of course, like we mentioned, that was the Final Four game going to the state championship. It was Prescott versus St. Mary's, and that was another just really, dogfight of a game. Unfortunately, Prescott coming up short 10-7. And, Adeline, I know I think you guys you had a chance to try to get into field goal range in the waning seconds, just came up a little short there. Disappointing as it was to lose the state championship game. Looking back on it now, I mean, how much of an accomplishment do you feel it was just to get there and just have the season you guys did?
I think it was a tremendous accomplishment. Like, I think about it, I go back to the beginning of April. I went to the first open fields for this, and I was like, there wasn't many girls there. We were barely learning stuff, just trying to get some footwork and so to think that we got so far is just insane, and I don't think we could have done it without all the people who support us.
Mm-hmm. And again, Rihanna, going back to when you were first putting together this team, did a state championship appearance even enter your thoughts?
No, not at all. It was we all definitely weren't ready for it, and like even like Addie said, we were all barely learning anything. No one knew the positions they were playing. No, we didn't really know what to work on. So that's why I'm super excited for next season, because then we can actually work on what we need to work on for our team.
And Alana, you're not going to be here next season because you're going to be graduating. You're one of 2 seniors. But when you see all the girls coming back for next year's team, and now that they got that taste of a state championship game, what do you think this team is going to be doing in 2025?
Well, I hope they're going to go win the state championship. I think they have such a huge chance to win it because, again, we're only missing 2. They're losing 2 people, which is they have a whole other team that then they're just going to work to get better and work on the little things. I think this year was a lot of the big things. How can we just get through the season? And then I think next year it's going to be a lot of little things that will just make it a lot better.
Okay. Well, yeah, folks, we're coming up to the final few minutes here of Tri-City Sports Roundup. Kind of late in the show to be doing this, but we got to do it because, again, we got athletes in here. We got to find out some interesting things about their teammates. Yeah. That's it. That's the ticket. That's what I meant. Interesting. So, Rihanna, I'm going to start with you here.
Okay.
Who would you say is the best dressed player on Prescott flag football? Who's the team fashion plate?
Oh gosh, imagination. I'd say. I don't even know.
Boy, I threw a tough one at you, didn't I?
You did. I'd say probably Marley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Marley Van Wormer?
Yeah.
Okay. So congratulations, Marley. I guess you on the team fashion plate then. Great. Okay, Alana, who would you say is the funniest player on Prescott flag football?
I might have to say Jerishma on that one. She's a freshman and she's so funny.
Personality.
Is she intentionally funny or unintentionally funny, or both?
I don't know. Probably both.
Okay. Adeline, on the opposite end, who is the most serious player on the team?
Ooh, that's a hard one because I feel like we're all just upbeat people, but I would say maybe Isabel, because she's very she always looks serious. She's a freshman and she's just kind of always just, and she just always has this intense look on her face.
Okay, now Rihanna, who would you say on Prescott is the most talkative player on the team? The kind of player where I'd be like, I'm interviewing her and I'm like, hey, hurry up, I ain't got all day here.
Mallory.
Oh!
Definitely, especially at practice.
Oh, boy. I'll probably be interviewing her for soccer season, too. So.
I've had to yell at her a few times during warm-ups.
Okay, Alana, on the opposite end, who is the quietest player on the team? The kind of player, if I interview him, I'll probably get a 3-word answer out of him, if that.
There's probably a lot of them. Yeah, I'd definitely say Kylie. She's really sweet, but very, very quiet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I wouldn't be doing a very long interview with her.
No.
Or maybe even just an interview with her, period.
Yeah.
Okay, now, Adeline, who on Prescott can eat the most in one sitting?
Oh. Honestly, that's a hard question. I have to think about team dinners here. I feel like all of us can. Honestly, I feel like all of us after practice can eat a fair hunk of team dinner.
So is it a 20-way tie or something?
I mean, it's I feel like. Me and Mallory get it done sometimes. we can down tacos all day long. We had 4 cookies the other night at team dinner.
So basically, if restaurants do Taco Tuesdays and they see you 2 walk in, they're like, oh geez, we're gonna run out of food now.
Yeah, we're pretty good at that.
So, Coach, again, looking ahead to next year, what are your thoughts on Prescott flag football for season number 2?
Well, we have a great support staff coming back, and I didn't mention Dr. Rich Tenney being there for us all season 2. I'd like to shout out to him. He's going to be there. He wants to see this program grow. He's given us a lot of tools. And we got Coach Tim Kennedy coaching our quarterbacks. We have everybody coming back to do off-season work when we get some time. And, losing the 2 seniors, we're going to dedicate next season to them, and whatever happens, it's for this first football team that we're going to set the legacy and set a long-term goal of just developing and learning. And that's what I said from the beginning. We're not outcome-based as far as winning a championship. I try to take a dynamic drive approach and just stay motivated, keep learning, keep getting better. And they've subscribed to it, and that's what we're going to keep doing. So we'll see how it goes.
All right. I can only imagine after this season, when the call comes out for tryouts next year, there are probably going to be a ton of girls coming out for flag football.
Come on out.
Yeah. All right, well, folks, we are coming to the end of the show here. I want to thank Coach Ryan Hard of the Prescott, the state runner-up Prescott flag football team, along with his players, Rihanna Aguilar, Alana Gilray, Adeline Brandon. Ladies, Coach, thank you very much for joining us here. And again, congratulations on an astounding first season of Prescott flag football. We are certainly looking forward to covering season number 2.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can
Thank
I
you so
can I
much.
say something real quick?
Yes, you may.
I would just like to give a big thank you to, I feel like we wouldn't have been able to do this without all our families and our friends and all the people who came watch and sat in those Badger bleachers. So I'd like to give a big thank you to them because it's a privilege to play at Prescott.
All right.
Thank you.
You heard it there. You're welcome, ladies, and thank you again for coming in. All right, folks. Again, we've got the Territorial Cup coming up today at 12:30 p.m. right here on KYCA, ASU versus the U of A. You can also go over to our news station, The Team, 1450 a.m. for more college football. We got Michigan at Ohio State and Notre Dame at USC. That starts at 9:30. Then tomorrow we've got NFL action on The Team. The Chargers versus the Falcons at 10 a.m. The Niners versus the Bills at 5:30 p.m. Then we also have Monday Night Football. It's the Browns versus the Broncos at 5:30 p.m. And on Tuesday, the season opener for Prescott boys basketball. They take on St. Mary's at 7 p.m. And yes, we will be broadcasting that game on 1450 a.m. The Team, KNOT. All right, folks, that's going to do it for our show. Thank you very much for joining us. Have yourselves a good day. We'll see you again next week.